Yo, what's good, Griffin13 here back in the day, and today we are here for part 1 of the brand new and returning exclusive cars to Forza Horizon 4 with the Series 13 update. Now you guys probably caught what I just said. I said part 1. Hopefully part 2 will be out tomorrow, but we don't actually know. The update goes live tomorrow, so really that's what I'm hoping for, but during the Playground Games live stream today, they only revealed everything going on in summer and autumn, and did not touch on winter or spring, because apparently there's something so huge that they had to wait a whole extra day to reveal it, because tomorrow the update goes live. On August 28th, this update goes live. I'm really excited to find out what this is, because there is so much possibility of what it could be, and the first thing that comes to mind is an expansion. Are we getting a brand new expansion here in Forza Horizon 4? Because if we are, I am so pumped. It also could be a really, really cool story with like the Grand Tour, for example. That would be awesome as well, but really not. Okay, let's not talk about this during our live stream worthy. The biggest thing that I could think of, though, would be the return of a certain car brand. And if that happened, I would probably crap myself. In the moment I found out, I would probably leave work early to come make a video on this. Although I will say, I actually got to be away. I'm going to be traveling tomorrow, so that's probably not going to be possible. But still, if Toyota and Lexus somehow return to the game, I don't know how I will contain myself, because honestly, I'm so pumped. I've wanted to drive the LFA, the RCF, and the Celica GT4 ST205 in this game for a very, very long time. The Toyota Tacoma, the Toyota Tundra, and of course for all you fanboys out there, the damn Toyota Supra that everybody keeps talking about. Oh my freaking god, but honestly, what could be so exciting and so secretive that they won't even talk about it in their own live stream and will wait for fans for an entire extra day to get hype about? Honestly, I have absolutely no idea, but I am hyped. I am so hyped right now. But without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at what we do know. So starting things off, let's go ahead and talk about these series rewards. So starting out at 50%, we have the 1966 Porsche 906. This is a brand new car to Forza Horizon 4, but it was first revealed over in Forza Motorsport 7. This was actually Ferdinand Piëch, the grandson of Ferdinand Porsche's first car that he ever designed. And the whole thing that he went around this was he was trying to make it as lightweight as possible so it would be better than the Porsche 904, and he could prove himself as an automotive engineer and designer. Because of course he was working for his granddad's company. You gotta make sure that if you're a grandson, you gotta do good work. Otherwise everyone's gonna think you skated by on the fact that you're his grandson or his son or whatever. You know, you gotta make sure that you do right. So we are getting a brand new Porsche 906. Honestly, that is a dope car. We kind of knew about this. We saw earlier in the week, we actually saw a little snippet that showed the 906, and I actually tweeted it out, or not really tweeted out, posted it here on YouTube in my community section. That way you guys were all made aware of it. We actually got another car this way as well, and I'll get to that one in a little bit. But then coming up with our 80% completion award, we have the Porsche 911 GT1 Strasseversion. This car is not exclusive, and you can actually go ahead and purchase this in the auto show for 2.5 million credits, but it is a very expensive car, and they are giving it to us for, well, free. So that's not too bad at all. Although I will say I'm a little disappointed in some of the other cars that they're doing this for later on in the series. So moving on into summer, which will last from this Thursday, August the 29th through September 5th, we have a bunch of new cars. Honestly, a lot more than I was actually expecting. Starting things off with our 50% completion reward, we have the return of the Hot Wheels Twin Mill. This will be, I believe, the third chance opportunity to go ahead and get your hands on it. It's been very difficult to get in the past, but honestly, it's a really cool car. It's just a fun car to have in your garage, because otherwise it's so hard to control. You can't control this thing. It has 2 Corvette V8s, for crying out loud. 2 of them! It's just absolutely insane. Moving on to our 80% completion award, we have the Porsche Carrera. I really don't know why we're getting this. It costs 400,000 credits over in the auto show, and it's our 80% completion reward. I guess maybe they're seeing that a lot of people aren't actually going all the way to 80%, You know, I guess they've had some Forza editions at the 80% as well. So maybe they're like, let's throw some expensive cars in there that players maybe don't have, and they maybe will actually work a little harder to get them. You know, I've got a Carrera. I don't know if I'm actually going to waste the time to do 80%. Although, to be honest, doing all the other challenges, I probably will get there. Because coming up next, we have our seasonal co-op trial event, which I believe is the Porsche Cup again, where you'll be picking up the Porsche 917 LH. Now, this is the long tail, the 917 long tail. Now, the thing about this car is we already have a 917 in the game. We have the Pink Pig, and over in Motorsport 7, we also have two other 917s, and it is neither of these. We get a brand new Porsche 917, and the thing about the long tail is it was built for Le Mans. The thing is, on the straightaway at Le Mans, this car went 25 miles per hour faster than its competition, which on a straight that is about 4 miles long, honestly, that is damn impressive because it didn't have any of those twists and turns that it does today. It was just a dead arrow straight. Now, the thing about this car is the reason why I was able to get 25 miles per hour more is because it was the long tail and had the arrow on the very back. This, of course, caused more lift, so the front wheels were basically not in as much contact as they should have been, which when it got to the very end of the straight, you know, can cause a little bit of problems. I don't know if you guys have ever done that full straight at full speed and tried to hit the brakes at the end. A lot of times you end up in the sand. So, yeah, that's the kind of car that this was. Moving on, we have our seasonal playground games, which will feature the 2011 Ford Raptor. So you'll be able to pick up the 2011 Ford Raptor from this. It's a previous exclusive. I believe it's actually a wheel spin exclusive. Not really sure on the price though. I'm not really sure how expensive this is because we actually have so many Raptors in the game already that I think a lot of people just kind of forget about this car and move on. But yeah, it is an exclusive, so it does have some value to it. If you got one, maybe you want to sell it if you're going to go ahead and do the seasonal playground games because you might be able to pick up a little bit of money off of it. Moving on, we have our first championship, which is going to be the Summer Developer Championship, where you'll be able to pick up the 2004 Subaru WRX Sti 205. Again, this is another wheel spin exclusive, but it's been a relatively rare exclusive because there's a lot of Subi fans out there. There's a lot of WRX fans and a lot of STI fans. You know, you can be a WRX fan without being an STI fan, but you can't really be an STI fan without being a WRX fan. So, but yeah. This car is rare, it's exclusive, it's worth a lot of money. You know, if you have one, you may think about selling it. But honestly, the BLobeye is freaking beautiful. It really is. I'm more of a BLobeye fan versus Bug-Eye. You can hate me if you want to. But yeah, honestly, a freaking dope Subaru WRX. We have another championship called Looney Tunes where you're able to pick up a clown mask, which, whatever, man. But then we have Hype Tour. And Hype Tour it is. Because one of my guesses from the Torben Tuesday was correct. We are getting the 2018 Italdesign Zerouno. So for those guys who don't know, basically Italdesign is a subsidiary of Lamborghini. And what this car is, it's basically a redesigned Lamborghini Huracan. It's a little bit better because it's got better aerodynamics and some extra bits that make it faster. But honestly, that's what it is. It shares the same all-wheel drive system. It's got the same engine. You know, the interior is actually very, very similar and uses a lot of Lamborghini parts. It's basically a Huracan. It's a really expensive Huracan because it costs like $1.5 million. It's super expensive, but honestly, it's absolutely drop-dead gorgeous. And I cannot wait to drive this thing because the Huracan is one of my favorite cars. Absolutely love it. Used it all the time in Horizon 3. Use it all the time here in Horizon 4, although really, I do need to make a Huracan race car and an off-road car, but they made the Huracan a one-off, so it's harder to get them. You know, goddamn. But honestly, it's going to be an amazing car. I'm super excited about this. It is absolutely perfect. And then finally, we move on into autumn, which will last from September 5th through September 12th, and our 50% completion reward, you'll be able to pick up the Gymkhana 10 Ford Focus RSRX. Which, you know, it's an exclusive car. It's not really worth a whole lot, though. You know, we've had opportunities to get this car. There's also another Ford Focus RSRX, plus all the Fiesta STRXs that are in the game. You know, to be honest, I'm actually sitting here thinking, You know, the RSRX, I kind of forgot about that car. I never use it. I never use it because my first go-to is usually the Fiestas. So I've just never been hopping into the Focus anymore. Even though I love the Ford Focus RS. And in fact, for a long time, the Focus RS was my dream car. Before I kind of got into the trucks and all that sort of stuff, I was thinking my next car might be a Focus RS. But I ended up buying a pickup truck instead. So, you know, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with that. But still, you'll be able to pick up a Gymkhana 10 Ford Focus RS. Moving on to our 80% completion award, we have the Porsche 718. This is the classic Porsche. It costs 1,000,000 credits over in the auto show. You can go ahead and pick it up right now. But if you don't have one, you'll be able to get a free one, absolutely free, here in autumn. That's pretty dope. Seasonal co-op trial event, you can pick up the Caterham R500 Forza Edition. Let's forget about that. But our seasonal playground games, though, has a freaking dope car. Honestly, absolutely love this thing. It is the 2018 Honda Civic Type R. I use this car quite a bit, and honestly, picking up another one, I'm going to have some tunes to make. Because right now, I believe what I have is an A-Class race tune. I would love to see like an A-Class off-road tune, or maybe an S1 class race tune. There's so many different tunes out there that I can do. Maybe even a drift tune, you know, my dudes. I'm actually really excited for that. Then we have a community championship where you'll be able to pick up a modern race helmet black. Don't really care about clothing items. Then we move on to our next brand new car in the RR Spotlight. Rear engined, rear wheel drive. You'll be able to pick up the Porsche 356 SL. We have the 356A here in Forza Horizon 4 already, the 356A Speedster. This was actually Porsche's first ever race car, and it won its first race in its class at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Now, they actually originally built 2 of these, but the first one actually crashed at the race the night before. So it didn't actually race. It crashed in like the testing and stuff like that the night before the race. So they only had one car ready to go the next morning, which was the number 46. The thing is, though, is after a couple of race victories overall, Porsche actually took the car and they sold it to a private collector here in the States. This collector continued to race the car around the US, but eventually he painted it red and chopped the roof of a Porsche's first ever race car. Think about that. Like, that is some balls right there. That is some balls right there. Anyway, though, it eventually made its way back over Europe. They restored the roof back to what it originally was. So now it looks how it originally did. Honestly, though, that is hilarious. Somebody chopped the roof off of Porsche's first ever race car. That is absolutely insane. I did not know that, but damn, that is some fun information. That is some damn fun information. Then we go to our final championship this month. We're able to pick up the 2019 Porsche 911 GT3 RS. I'm not even going to try and pronounce what the champion is called. It's like Noon Elfer or something like Noon Elfer. I'm probably saying something wrong that I shouldn't ever say, but apparently it means 911 in German. So yeah. Now let's talk about some other things though that were going on with this update, because there were a couple of other cars that were shown, and there was one more exclusive car that was revealed. We'll probably be able to pick this car up in spring, I would guess, because it is a rear-wheel drive Porsche, which is the 2019 Porsche 718 Cayman GTS. Honestly, in love with this car. I love the way the Caymans look. I love the way they handle. And in fact, we actually just tested out the GT4 over in Forza Motorsport 7, which was the final spotlight car for Motorsport 7. Honestly, I'm so excited for this thing. I love the Caymans. I really do. I've always been more of a Cayman fan than a 911 fan, because they have that traditional mid-engine setup versus Porsche traditional rear engine setup. I always felt like the Cayman probably had more potential, but really Porsche treats it as kind of this little brother who, you know, hey, you got some potential. We're going to give you just a little bit of a nudge here, and then they never really do anything with it. It's the entry-level Porsche. Now, we're getting a GTS, though. That's not entry-level by any means. But honestly, still, I'm absolutely excited for it. So the last thing I want to talk about is a couple of brands that showed up in the Playground Games live stream. You know how there's the button when you go to My Cars, you can actually select to move to a certain brand? Well, during the live stream, they actually opened this up, and it revealed a bunch of brands that were currently in their garage that we could not see. So these brands were Chevrolet, Ford, Jaguar, Jeep, Lamborghini, Mitsubishi, Nissan, Noble, Porsche, Ram, Renault, and Altima. Now, some of these brands are always in there, and they are part of the My Horizon Life specials. So, we have the Ford, Jaguar, we have the Nissan, the Ram, and the Renault. Those are part of My Horizon Life, so we can go ahead and exempt those from what I'm about to say. We move on to Chevrolet. This one is not exempt. The reason why Chevrolet was in there was because they were driving a Corvette Z06 during one of the races. Okay, that one gets a pass, it is now exempt. Then we move down to Jeep. Well, the reason why Jeep was in here is because the brand new Teverity Jeep was in the garage. This means it's probably going to be a reward sometime in winter, but we're not entirely sure. So this one gets an exemption as well. Next up we go to Lamborghini. Well, what I think this is because Italdesign didn't show up, that they're actually putting the Italdesign Zerouno under Lamborghini as the ID Zerouno instead of having it be its own brand. Okay, that gets an exception. We continue moving on down the list. We're going to skip over Mitsubishi for now. We will double back to it later. We have Noble. So, the Noble M600 is going to be available during the summer season in the Forza shop. So you'll be able to pick that car up. It's already available via My Horizon Life as well, so it kind of gets a double exemption there. Porsche, okay, we saw so many Porsches in this game, we don't have to worry about those. Those get an exemption. Then we finally move on to Altima and Mitsubishi. These are the two brands that are left. Neither of them have My Horizon Life specials, but the thing is though is there's really no reason why these cars would be here unless there is some brand new car that is going to be making its way into the game. So it looks like we're going to be getting some kind of Mitsubishi or an Altima that is brand new. Something like the Altima RS. I really don't know what on earth we could be getting from Mitsubishi though. That is a complete mystery to me. So but anyway though, that is where we're going to go wrap things up for today. Leave a comment down below. Which car are you guys most excited from this part 1 video? I'm definitely most excited for the Zerouno. That thing looks like an absolute beast. I cannot wait to drive that thing. As well, if you guys want to, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at twitter.com/Griffin13 and Instagram.com/Griffin13. And if you guys like this video, go make sure to hit that like button down below for us because you guys already know your support is so greatly appreciated. And make sure to subscribe for more videos coming out all the time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out. Bye.